whether the load can be. So last class we have seen that load is on, which is the point load. Okay. So Bushnell's theory, what we are trying to tell you is, it is about the Bushnell's theory, and we have seen that we can draw this isobar also. Okay, hope it is visible now. Okay, visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll continue. Okay, so it is very simple chapter only. Okay, no need to be panic. It's very simple topic only, because Bushnell has given equation, derived equation, and that already we have seen that q by z square. Okay, IB is the one we have taken as that one influence factor. Okay, IF IB. Okay, so if you try to draw that particular and calculate for different distances and the depth, you will find one bar below that point load, that particular bar called isobara. Okay, we can plot so many isobars actually, depending on the, again we can increase the load, and again you can plot the isobara, different types. Okay, so that's what by because of the point load. Okay, now what we'll see in today's class is how it looks like vertical stresses distribution on a horizontal plane. Okay, that means we are applying some point load. So exactly how it looks like, okay, when you try to plot in a horizontal plane, that means if you see top view of that one, how it looks like exactly. Okay, horizontal plane. So that what we'll do is we'll take a small distance or a z. Okay, so at various points on the horizontal plane is at a depth z can be obtained using uh, the given equation. We know this equation. Okay, so let us determine the stresses at a depth 2 meters. Suppose we assume that 2 meter, we z is 2 meter, we'll assume it, and what we'll do is we'll do the calculation. Okay, so r by z and the IB and everything will calculate. When you calculate it in a tabular form, so vertical stress sigma z would looks like this. This is common sense, right? That means where the point load is there, it will be maximum here. Okay, so z I am taking constant at a 2 meter, r I am varying r by z. Okay, here at a distance 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, this just I am doing it. So when you see in a horizontal plane how it looks like, where the point load is maximum, the stresses distribution would be like this. Okay, so this is the horizontal plane how it looks. And we can also calculate the vertical the distribution. That means how it looks like in this fashion, from this vertical, in the vertical, that also must be given here. Okay, so different loads, how we can plot it is given, and the vertical stress distribution also can be calculated. Okay, again what we'll do is in this formula, calculation of vertical stress at a distance of r is equal to 1 here. So what I'm doing is, here then depth I'm changing is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, depth I'm changing it. Okay, and suppose I want to find out the vertical distribution, vertical stress distribution along the vertical plane. Okay, so this along the vertical plane, suppose I want to find how it looks like here. If we see how it would be generally, if we imagine, there we can easily guess it. Okay, horizontal plane, the point load, it would be maximum. But in the case of suppose I am applying a vertical load Q, and if I want you to or ask you to find out the vertical distribution along the vertical plane. Okay, so how do you know where it would be maximum generally? So after that, when you try to find out by using the same formula, and when you try to do it, okay, so it is found that vertical, for 1 meter I'm talking. Okay, would be maximum somewhere here. Okay, it is this z is equal to 1.22. It is found to be maximum here, not here at the point load. Okay, so likewise, at a distance of 1 meter, it can be maximum here, and the stresses will reduce, right? And slowly it will reduce, and it will continue like this. Okay, so we cannot say what distance it is, that but it would be continued like this. Okay, so here it can be like this. Likewise, you can plot the vertical stresses or a horizontal on a horizontal plane and or a vertical stress on a vertical plane also we can calculate. Okay, now what we'll do is till now what we have seen the point load. Suppose I have a vertical due to the line load. Suppose some line is with some infinitive, okay, is going through that. So how we generally we find out? So here I am taking one line here, okay, one line with the intensity, some q intensity, the load, okay. So it is passing through likewise. Now if suppose if I ask to find the vertical stress, okay, at a point P, like we have done it for our q, and that means point load, where it is xyz coordinate, okay. Suppose if I ask you to find out the same thing, in that case what generally we do it, this thing we know it, okay. So here what I'm trying to do is uh, let us consider a load acting on a small length I will take it dy. Okay, so load can be calculated by using this intensity into this small length. What is the dy? Dy or dx, whatever you want to take it. Okay, so what we do is the load, instead of that 3 by 2 q here, what I am taking is here in that business equation, I am taking as the intensity multiplied with the small element, that is small length element. Vertical stress in the soil mass due to the vertical line can be obtained using business same theory. Let the vertical line of load of intensity q dash per unit length, okay, small unit length, along the y-axis, okay. So this 3q whatever we have seen that in the beginning equation, here what I'm doing is small, instead of q, just what I'm doing is small element I'm taking here, okay, small element, and this intensity, the area and the unit area, small area and the intensity, if you divide, I mean multiply, it will give the load, it will give the load. So same thing if you substitute here, and then I want to find out the whole line. Suppose line is passing from minus infinity to plus infinity. So what you do is you integrate it, minus infinity to plus infinity. If you do it slowly, finally, because these are a simple thing, okay, you just go through it, and finally you may get it these equations. Understand? So because very simple, just a integration only, okay. Since you have cleared the JEE mains and all, it should not be very difficult for you to go through this one, okay. So it is very easy only. So likewise, now what I will do is vertical stress is under a strip load. So I will take a small strip here, okay. So here the expression for the vertical stress at any point P under a strip load, so can be developed by using the same equations, but where we want to find out this expression, the point P can be anywhere, right? So below the center of the strip I am taking here. So this is the strip now, not line, okay, the small strip, okay. And I will assume that this the b is the width of this strip at a depth z. I want to find out here the p. Suppose this makes angle theta and this makes then what I will do is again this first strips also, what I will do is this b is the width, okay, can be written, I want to write it as a 2b, okay. The b is equal to b. Why I'll write, I'll tell you, okay. So for integration it would be easy. So what I will do is a small, again what I will do, again I will take a small element here dx. Okay, in the previous equation, this intensity we know and multiply with the dx. Okay, so what you will get, this equation can be written in this way. Now here I don't want a small element, I want whole strip. Okay, the area of because of this whole strip, what is the vertical stress at the point P because of this whole strip. Then what I have to do, I have to integrate from where, here suppose this is the b, half b, this b, that means minus b to plus b. When you integrate it, finally what you will get it, you will get this equation, or this equation you can say. Okay, theta and already we know this. Okay, so likewise Bushness, what here what you will do is I will give it as homework for you. What you will do is now instead of assuming this p just below this one, you try to assume here somewhere p. I want a vertical stress here because of this strip, okay. That you can find out, it is also very simple, okay. Then what I'll do tell you is, So likewise, we can find out, we can draw the all the isobar below this one. Okay, isobar the equal vertical stresses. Here is equal, here is equal, like that. If you try to draw it, so as the load increases, what happens? Isobars sizes also will increases. So these isobars are very important while designing footing. While designing the footing, so we call it as the influence area below the footing. Generally, IS code says, suppose the B is the width of the footing, we have to do the soil exploration, or we have to worry about the soil till multiplied with the 2b. That means this is the b up to here 2b. So 2b soil condition we should know when you design a building. Generally, suppose I want to design one building footing, okay. So up to what depth I have to see that whether what kind of soil it is, whether it is a sandy or gravelly soil or a soft clay, or we have so many tests, okay. In the field we do it, plate load test we can do it, standard penetration test we can do it. Likewise, we have so many tests we can do it. So what up to what depth you have to do it, that depends on the isobar. Okay, isobar says the influence area is quite high. That means there also we have to find out what is the soil is all about. Okay, what kind of soil is, not just below the footing itself. It should be multiplied with 2b below the b. This is the b from here to be here 1.5 to 2b. Generally 1 point generally we have to see and we have to conduct a test there, and we have to find out what kind of soil. Otherwise, what happens in the just below this footing, the soil can be gravel, but below that one more layer may be there, that can be soft clay. So in that case, what happens because of this loading? Okay, we are constructing a very huge building or a bridges and so on. Because of that, because the previously it was not expected that now when you apply load, that soft layer will try to settles down. When layer settles down, the soil settles down. What happens? The building foundation also settles down. When foundation settles down, what happens? Whatever you have constructed above the building, that you will find cracks in the building. Understand? So likewise, the settlement we should always avoid. Okay, so wherever possible, we have to check that what kind of, either otherwise we have to make a borehole. Actually up to 2b we have to make a borehole by using auger boring. So many techniques are there. We will find out that soil, we'll bring that soil to the laboratory, and we'll conduct some classification like whatever we have seen. Okay, whether it may be sandy, gravelly, or soft. After doing the classification, if it is soft clay, what kind of initial water content, I mean natural water content, how much it is having. Okay, and we can conduct the test like liquid limit, plastic limit, sinkage limit if it is a soft clay. Then we have to find out that it falls in which category, whether it is highly compressible clay above the above the A line or below the A line, or below the intermediate compressibility or high compressibility or medium compressibility. We have seen that plasticity chart, and we say that if the soil is clay, and what is the underend shear strength, how we find out the shear strength of a soil. Okay, so after finding that, we have to check that whether that particular clay will bear the load or not. Okay, if it is not bear, if it is not possible to bear, then we have to avoid that site. Okay, so likewise, these techniques been used now in the geotechnical soil mechanics one. So you will see some basic things only. Then when soil mechanics two, when you try to teach you, okay, there we'll see what are different types of the uh, test we'll conduct in the field and in the laboratory also. Okay. Now, anyway, this can be done, no problem. Now, this one more thing. Now, till now, what we have seen is point load, line load, and the strip load. Now, generally, the foundation may not be point load, line load, or strip load. It can be circular or rectangular. In that case, how generally we find out these vertical stresses below that by using this same the business theory. What we'll do is we will if it is circular footing, again we'll take a small element dr, like in engineering mechanics we used to take, okay, a small element dr. Okay, I suppose the footing has the radius r. Okay, I want to find out the vertical stress at a depth z. Okay, at the point exactly below the center of that one. where the center of gravity passes through. And then what I will do is small ring I will draw inside it with a small distance dr thickness, okay, of a ring, then at a small distance, radial distance r from the O, and Q is the intensity. Here how we can find out this area of this one and the intensity, where instead of 3q by 2 pi, what is q, how we can find out? We have to multiply the intensity multiplied by the area. Area is 2 pi r multiplied by the dr. That's what it is given. Understand? 2 pi r multiplied by the dr. Again, what we have to do is, what about the integration from 0 to r? Because I want whole area, 0 to r. 0 to r, you will try to do integration, and finally you will find this equation. Okay, like IB, we have IC here. Okay, this I can be this whatever the leftover part. Okay, Q is the intensity. Again, what I will do is this particular formula also can be used. Okay, I see the influence coefficient for a circular area here. So again, I can make a tabular form. I just assume the R, I just assume the Z. Okay, Z and the R, and again what we can do is R by Z, we can do it here, and we can make a tabular column of this one also. Understand? So likewise, we can find again isobar can be drawn, and all these things can be done. Okay. Now vertical, again this is also given. Vertical stresses under the corner of rectangular area. That means suppose you have a rectangular here. Okay. For rectangular footing also can be done same thing. Only what we are doing is here is we are just multiplying with the area. Okay. Area and integration, what we have to take it here. So what we are doing is multiply area here. What we are doing is here instead of 2 pi r here, dx into dy. I mean both the direction I am taking this small element dx and this small element dy. Okay, so that can be taken as for a rectangular thing also. We can write this equation, and we can plot these corners. Everything is done here. You just simply you can go through is I can draw the isobar and all. Okay. What it is given, so here again one more term may come. Okay, that is in new marks in, so IC, IB and the IN. So you will know what is the MN and all when you do all integration and all. Okay, that I'm skipping for you. Okay, so that to save time. So likewise, likewise we can find out this, just the basic things I'm giving you. What is this all about this Bushnell's theory? Bushnell's theory is what we are doing here is we are just applying a load. Previously, what we have seen for vertical stresses, we have seen that by the self weight, what is the stress below the ground. But in the case of Bushnell's theory, what we are doing is we are applying a point load, we are applying a line load, we are applying a strip load, we are applying a circle load, we are applying a rectangular load. Okay, by using the basic formula, what we are doing is we are using the integration, like taking a small element, and we are able to find this particular stresses. Okay, so that's what it is given. Okay, so likewise we can influence chart also been prepared. Actually this new marks chart is also very important. So now what we will do is so this particular whatever you seeing, right, the wheel type of this one here, what generally we do is we can find out the vertical stresses for any irregular shapes. This what this guy Newman has done is any shapes. I mean not only circular, rectangular, any zigzag shape. If you put it this particular shape on this Newman's chart, that wheel kind of whatever you are seeing it, right? That automatically this shows the vertical stresses at a particular point. Following what I'm trying to tell is, what he has done is you are drawn is like some chart he has drawn. Okay, so that chart, but anyway, that I'll explain in the next class. Okay, the chart, whatever you are seeing these things, right? Okay, that can be suppose I want to find out the for a particular shape. So by using this chart, you can find out the vertical stresses at any point. Okay, so So that's what it is given. Okay, Newman's influence chart is the method for determination of vertical stress under a strip, circular, and rectangular area have been discussed in the preceding section. In practice, sometimes one has to find vertical stress under a uniformity loaded area of other shapes also. Okay, that means other shapes. For such case, Newman's influence charts are extremely useful. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. Sometimes it is not necessary that the foundation can be circular, rectangular. Okay, it can be in other shape also. So in that case, this particular chart is very, very important. Newman chart is based on the concept of the vertical stress below the center of the circular area. Okay, based on the circular area as discussed in the previous section. Let us consider the uniformly loaded circular area of radius R1 divided into 20 equal sectors. That means we have divided into 20. Okay, what he has done is the vertical stress at point P at depth Z just below the center of the loaded area due to the load on one sector hatched one, okay, will be 1/20th of the load due to the on the full circle. Is it not? So small, suppose when you divide it a small strips here, 20 strips. So whatever we have calculated in the previously, okay, from the equation, so it would be the hatched area will be 1/20th of that due to the load on the full circle. So it is Newman's is based on the circular area footings. Okay. So if the vertical stress sigma z is given by arbitrary fixed value, say some 0.005 cube, and equation this becomes this one, and solving this equation you will get r1 by z equal 0.25. Okay. So thus the every 1/10th sector of the circle with radius r1 is equal to 0.0270 z would be a vertical stress of 0.00 q at its center. Understand? So likewise, so what he has done is some calculation he has done it. Okay. So generally, how generally we, again he has taken some r equal to solving the r equal to z and so on. Okay, that's what he has given. Now, what is the use of this particular Newman's is? Okay, so the chart can be used to determine the vertical stresses at point P below the loaded area. Okay, a plan loaded area is drawn on a tracing paper to a scale such that the length AB 2 centimeter in this case, okay, is equal to the depth Z of a point P below to the surface. For example, if the pressure is required at a depth of 1 meter, okay, the plan should be drawn to a scale of 2 centimeter is equal to 1. Okay. So what he has given is finally what I'm trying to tell you is here it is the trace plane of plan of loaded area is placed over a Newmark chart such that the P for which is required to coincide the chart, the vertical stress can be given. He has given this particular equations. Okay, INQ. How you have to remember INQ? Okay, here I is the influence coefficient and Q is the intensity, IN is the N is the number of small area units covered by the plane. That means when you keep your foundation, suppose I have some rectangular foundation. So there is some chart of this one. Okay. What I will do is I will keep that particular area drawing with some scale. When I keep it, the how much it is covering, the number of small area units covered by that plan. Okay. Each area between two successive radial lines, okay, and two successive concentric circle is taken as the one unit. Okay, so based on that we can find out by using this Newman chart. Okay, that's what it is given. The following points are worth noting. Okay, so one thing you should remember that suppose in the exam, suppose if they give an influence area, they give I, okay, and intensity they may give, and they say that this particular foundation covers the 5 units, 5 number of this influence chart. That means intensity we know, 5 we know, and influence coefficient also we know. When you multiply this one, you will get the vertical stress at the particular point. Hope you are following. What I'm trying to tell you is N means there is a chart. You remember one chart is there, influence Newman chart, Now I want to find out the vertical stretches for a different shape, any shape. Then what I will do is I will bring that shape and keep it on this chart drawing. Okay, and then I will find out how much area it is covering. Okay, so that we can find out, and intensity we know, and this influence coefficient we know. By using this one we can, this is one more technique which we can find out this the vertical stresses by using this Newman's chart. That's what you have to remember. Okay, so with that I will stop today. Okay, I have some meeting. Maybe next class what we will do is these are things not I will look into it, which is more important. There is one more theory in this particular chapter. It's called the Westergaard theory. So Bushness has given this theory. One more theory which is important in this particular chapter is Westergaard theory. That we will see. That I think that is on layered soil also. He has given some equations. So by using that equation again, we can find out the vertical stresses. Okay. So with that, I'll stop today, and please read it. It's not difficult. No need to panic. So small mathematical calculations are there. Okay. So integration and so on. One thing you should remember is first you derive one equation, Bushness equation, that already I have discussed with you. Once you derive from that equation, just we are changing the intensity of load. Okay, whether it may be line load, point load, or a strip load, or and rectangular load, and so on. And Newman's influence chart, one chart is there. By using some different shape also we can find out the vertical shape, that you remember. Okay, so when you read it you will try to understand. Okay, so it is not very difficult, so that we have to go little fast because we have uh, not yet finished the second chapter also. Okay, a lot of syllabus is there. So I'll stop today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.